How many of them have come?
So more than 20. So we'll begin. Good evening, everyone. I formally start this session by welcoming Mr. Ajay Kumar Jindal, advocate from Ludhiana. He's not a new face for all us, and you already know about him, and we've been gaining from his knowledge. So today we have another session with Mr. Jindal, wherein we know how to read a Jamabandi and also whether he'll be answering the question whether Jamabandi is a document of title or not. Because in general notion, it is always said that Jamabandi is not a document of title. So may I just request sir to please start with this session, and we'll all be on it, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good evening to all of them. Revenue record has been a source of problem for every civil advocate because one does not go deep into this record of rights or the revenue record in its right earnest. And secondly, there are not so much seniors who know themselves regarding the revenue record. Very few persons know regarding the revenue record. So, in the absence of any knowledge as to what the Jamabandi is, it becomes difficult for a person or an advocate to interpret and come to know about the various columns in the Jamabandi. Now, Jamabandi is also known as Fard. In local language, we say कि फर्द लिया जाके अपनी. Fard means Jamabandi. Sometimes agriculturist does not know that what is Jamabandi. They will say कि फर्द लिया मैं जाके. So that fard is a Jamabandi. And in the revenue record or in the revenue parlance, it is known as record of rights. Now, once it is dubbed as a record of rights, that means that it is a record of rights. Rights means rights of the persons who are recorded therein. Now, as you know, that earlier there were princely states in most of the India. After the advent of East India Company, the states were being integrated by them into the British Empire, and slowly they formulated laws regarding the maintenance of revenue records and recovery of the land revenue. Now, what is land revenue? Land revenue is Lagan. I have already seen the movie Lagan, and you know that the consequences of not paying the Lagan are very harsh and punishable by the Britishers. So Lagan was one of the major source of income for every princely estate or for the British Empire also. Now Lagan is in two types. One is payment of cash. Payment in cash is that a particular Lagan is fixed by the government that you have to pay, you are holding such and such land holdings, and you are to pay such and such amount to the state government. And the duty to collect the Lagan was of the Lambardar of the village. Secondly, in princely estates, the Lagan was used in the form of cash crop. It was cash crop because the crop used to be sold to the market, and the amount realized from that sale of the cash crop was treated as Lagan. So that was known as Batai. Also known that Batai. Batai de vich hissa kinna toda. Half, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, whatever is fixed, that was the Lagan. Now the question comes that there are various columns in the Jamabandi which need to be interpreted and understood properly, in the sense that unless and until we know about the meaning of the various columns in the Jamabandi, it becomes very difficult for every person. Now, sometimes what happens is that in criminal case, it is not that the only civil courts, civil advocates require the knowledge of revenue record. Even the advocates who are practicing on the criminal side also require the knowledge of the revenue record, because sometimes when the surety comes and he gives a copy of the Jamabandi to show that he is the owner of such and such property. And if the advocate who is practicing on the criminal side does not know that as to how he has to interpret the Jamabandi and explain the Jamabandi to the court, it becomes difficult for him to get the surety accepted from the court, which becomes a Herculean task for him to come into to get the accused represented by him from the court. Now, as far as the legislation is concerned, if we go to the history of legislation, you will realize that Transfer of Property Act had come into the statute book in 1882, 1882, and the Punjab Land Revenue Act had come on the statute book in 1887, after 5 years. So provisions of Transfer of Property Act were not applicable to all the states. It was the sweet will of the state to make the application of certain provisions of Transfer of Property Act to the state itself. And some provisions of the Transfer of Property Act are still not applicable. But persuasive force or guidance from those sections cannot be ruled out. The courts can take guidance from those sections when they are dealing with the complex questions regarding the land involved in the case or other matters related to the land. Now, as far as Land Revenue Act is concerned, the connected act or the connected statute which we can say has come into existence is the Land Record Manual. Land Record Manual, we will call that there is Land Revenue Act 1, then the rules framed under the Land Revenue Act, which has Land Revenue Rules, and then comes the Land Record Manual that governs the entire scenario of the land revenue, of the land, and it prescribes the duty of the patwaris, kanungos and all that, and how and in what manner the mutations are to be entered, how and in what manner other factors or other acts are to be done. It is an exhaustive code in itself, which has to be read in conjunction with Land Revenue Act. Suppose we go through the provisions of Land Revenue Act and the rules framed therein, but we don't know the provisions of Land Revenue Act, then certainly it becomes very difficult for a person to interpret the provisions of Land Revenue Act. Now I give you a short example. There is a Khasra number. I will be coming to that as to what is the Khasra number and what is not the Khasra number. In a Khasra number, I am owner of 8 canals of land. 8 canals of land means 4,840 square yards. So I sell 200 square yards of land out of that Khasra number. Now, what is the duty of the patwari at the time of sanctioning of the mutation is that he has to carve out a particular rectangle in that very Khasra number and assign it a different Khasra number so as to distinguish that if earlier the Khasra number was 101, then he will say that it's 101 over 1. So that will show the boundaries as well as the separate Khasra number. But what the patwaris are doing these days or prior thereto, that they don't enter, they don't cut the tatima, they don't make out a tatima, they just say that such share has been sold out of the joint holdings. Now here lies the entire trouble. If I am owner of 20 Khasra numbers and all the 20 Khasra numbers are mentioned in my sale deed, but I am put in possession of a particular part of the Khasra number, how it is to be demarcated, because it is not specifically mentioned that from which Khasra number I have been given the possession. The tatima is not there, shares are there. So it becomes very difficult for anyone to make out as to where the property which has been purchased by him is concerned. So Punjab Land Record Manual is a sine qua non for understanding the provisions of Punjab Land Revenue Act. Then comes the agricultural land, how it is to be maintained under the Land Revenue Act. That has been given the entire procedure, patwari, then kanungo, and then assistant collector second grade, assistant collector first grade, so forth, and assistant collector and then deputy DC, Deputy Commissioner, that he is known as the collector of the under the Punjab Land Revenue Act. So that is an hierarchy of officers, then Commissioner and then Financial Commissioner. So that is an hierarchy of the officers which has been created under the Land Revenue Act. That is not the part of present discussion. That is a totally different chapter. But everything regarding the land revenue is mentioned in the Land Revenue Act. Now, why the post of Lambardar was created and what is the importance of Lambardar in the village? Because Lambardar is a person who was responsible for collecting the revenue. Secondly, he was the person who could identify any person of the village whenever a document is being executed, or if some information is to be collected, then the duty of the Lambardar was there to collect the said information and pass it on to the higher officials. So post of Lambardar in a village is most important, and everybody is trying to have good relations with the Lambardar. वैसे भी there is one of the original sayings in the village कि सारा पिंड मर जाए तो लंबरदार दा तू फिर भी नहीं भरना.
That's right.
So this phrase shows that how important the post of Lambardar was. So as far as the Jamabandi is concerned, that is defined under section 31. Mr. Vishal,
Ji, I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it. It is there, Ji.
Now, as far as the first portion is concerned, record of rights for an estate shall include the following documents, namely, 1. The persons who are the landowners. Now, 1. Landowners. 2. Tenants or assignees of the land revenue in the estate, or who are entitled to profits or produce of the estate, or occupy the land therein. Second is nature and extent of the interest of those persons and the conditions and liabilities attaching thereto. Third is the land rent, land revenue, rent, land revenue, rates, cesses, and other payments from where, from and to each of such persons and to occupy the land. So this is the definition given by the legislature to the record of rights. Then as far as the annual records are concerned, they are defined in section 33 of the Land Revenue Act. So what is the difference between record of rights and the annual records? So record of rights are prepared after every 4 years. To record of rights, presumption of truth is attached. If an entry has been made in the Jamamandi, that is record of rights, and if anybody is aggrieved by the entries made therein, then he has to file a suit in the civil court complaining of the fact that there has been a wrong entry made in the Jamamandi. Please correct it. And these are the basis on the basis of which it can be corrected. Secondly, annual record is, as you know, कि साल में 2 फसलें आती हैं, आड़ी सोनी. दोनों फसलों का कि who is cultivating the land and how much land is being cultivated. Thirdly, what produces, what crop has been sown by him, and what is the probable produce which that particular area of land will yield. So उससे क्या होता है कि then they calculate the entire produce being given by a district, and then that is collected at the state level. और फिर ये कहते हैं कि इस साल 25 लाख हेक्टेयर में हमने धान बीजी थी या कनक बीजी थी, इससे इतनी हमें we are expecting such and such amount of the crop from this. That gives an estimate. And secondly, the annual this annual record is nothing but only recording as to who is in possession or who is cultivating the land and what crop has been sold by him or what yield of the crop is there कई बार फसल मर जाती है, वो कहते हैं खसरा गिरदावरी देखो जी कि देना है, कंपनसेशन देनी है। So from there, the annual record is being prepared. Now, secondly, in the Jamabandi, there is column number 12.
Should I share it?
Yes. Now, column number 12 is remarks. So in this part, if a landowner has died, the mutation of inheritance has been sanctioned. So red entry will be made therein that such and such person has died and the mutation has been sanctioned in favor of such and such legal years. If a landowner has sold the property, how much property has been sold by him and to whom he has sold the property, that entry will be made. If the land has been partitioned, that will be made. If the land has been mortgaged by him, anything other that will be made in this column number 12 of the Jababandi, which will be reproduced in column number 4 at the time of preparation of the Jababandi or the after the expiry of period of 4 years. Now, as far as the very other columns are concerned, we will start from column number 1. It is Khewat number 1. Khewat तो वैसे आपको पता ही है, रामायण में खेवट था, who was used to mow the goat. तो ये खेवट है that represents the house number in the sense or the number of the owner of the property. So it has been given that he is the Khewat holder. Khewat holder means that he is having such and such land and this is the number which has been assigned to him. So this Khewat number means the assignment or the recognition of a person as an owner of the property and how his holdings are there. Then column number 2, Khatoni number. Now there is a confusion between Khewat and Khatoni number. In Khatoni number, what happens is, suppose Vishal has 5 houses. In one of the houses he is living and he has let out 4 other houses. So in the first Khatoni number, the house in his possession will be entered. That will be assigned a separate Khatoni number. Thereafter, in the alphabetically order, all the 4 tenants, name of the 4 tenants will be assigned a separate Khewat number to show that such and such person is in possession of such and such property.
Khatoni number or Khewat number or Khatoni number?
Khatoni number.
Khatoni number.
Khatoni numbers. And in Khatoni also, what happens is, suppose you are owner of 10 Khazra numbers. 5 are being owned by you and possessed by you. 5 you have given on rent. If it has been given on rent to one person, then one Khatoni number will be there. The Khatoni number of the owner will be different. Khatoni number of the tenant will be different. If there are more tenants, then those separate Khatonis are being entered in the name, but that in alphabetically order. Third is the name of the taraf or pattis. Now, as you know, that a village, there were number of pattis. Pattis means caste. Okay, they were agricultural tribes. We must not forget the history that agriculturists used to reside or live in tribes. A particular patti describes that he belongs to such and such tribe. So that patti is also mentioned. And firstly, all the owners of one patti will be entered. Then owners of second patti will be entered. Third, so that it is not difficult to get an idea about the holding of a person or the persons who are holding the land in a particular patti. Suppose they are intermingled, it will become very difficult because there will be jumbling. So that is why pattis or tarafs have been mentioned. Taraf is also similar to that pattis, but nowadays the pattis as well as the tarafs or tolas, etc., they have gone out of picture. It is just now a symbolic thing which is being written in column number 3 regarding the pattis. Then comes column number 4, owner with detail. Now here the name of the owner will be given, father's name and grandfather's name. Three things are always given: name, father's name, and grandfather's name. And then the holdings, how much holdings he has. Suppose there are number of 5 owners in the property. He has 1/5 share. It will be written 1/5 share. Equata panj hissa. And all other owners will be entered as owner of 1/5, 1/5, 1/5 share each. Now, sometimes the land is there, and suppose it is in canals and marlas. I will be coming to that in the later part. That there are 20 canals, and in one canal there are 20 marlas. So 20 multiplied by 20 comes out to 400 marlas. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if there are 400 marlas, then suppose I am holding 8 marlas. It will be written 8 over 400. If other person is owner of 20 marlas, he will be written as 20 by 400, 25 by 400. So when you add up all those numbers, all those shares, it will come out to be 400. And very rarely, if the shareholdings of a person are very, very small, then those total marla numbers are being further multiplied by a particular amount figure, and then out of that the shares are being demarcated and separated. So in this column, the name of the owner with the father's name and all others, that is given. All particulars so as to identify his address may be given if he is not resident of that village or he is residing somewhere else. Then comes column number 5, name of the cultivator with details. Now self-cultivation. Cultivation means khud kasht. Khud means self. Kasht means cultivation. That means the person who is the owner is in himself cultivating the land. And if it is in possession of a tenant, then the name of the tenant will be there, tenant at will, Gair Marusi, and all that will be there. But for the last 15 years, more than 15 years, a notification has been made by the Punjab government to say that all the entries in column number 5 and in the Khasra Gurdwari should be made only in the name of the owner himself, showing him as Khudkar. Why it was done so? Because earlier, if a person had let out the property for 5 years, the name of the tenant would come into that columns, and there was a lot of litigation. He had not left it, and the owner said that after 5 years, I have come into possession and I am in possession. So to end up that controversy, the Punjab government had issued the letter that now henceforth all the entries regarding cultivation will be made only in the name of the owner. Then comes 6th, detail of the irrigation. Source of irrigation. Can you tell me that in earlier days what were the source of irrigation?
पहले तो wells थे जी,
Wells थे और
या फिर
नहरी था
और दो ही पता था जी, ट्यूबवेल तो बहुत लेट आए। बारिश हाँ।
तो अगर जिसका कोई वो नहीं था सोर्स ऑफ इरिगेशन, that was known as Banjar Kadeem.
Banjar Kadeem, that's right.
Without any source of irrigation. So with the passage of time, नहरी में इसलिए होता था कि नहर का पानी कहाँ से आता है, कितना आता है, कैसे उसने गिना है, कितना उसको चाहिए। बारी होती थी आपस में अंडर दी नॉर्दर्न इंडिया कैनाल्स एंड ड्रेनेज एक्ट। वो कहते थे शाम को रात को 3 बजे बारी आ गई जी आप पानी की। देयर वर स्मॉल वाटर कोर्सेज मेड और देयर यूज्ड टू बी ए लॉट ऑफ क्रिमिनल लिटिगेशन।
खल
उसने जी तोड़ के पानी डाल दिया।
खल
खाल
the
खाल
litigation.
खाल खाल
Khal
खाल
litigation, still there is a lot of litigation को आता है
और
khal.
क्रिमिनल मैटर्स आल्सो
Yes, yes, yes.
कि उसने जी हमारी ये तोड़ के खाल पानी अपने आप को लगा लिया। So that was the detail of the irrigation. Now, secondly, in earlier days, what was there is that this was also to ascertain the value of the land. जिसके पास source of income irrigation था, that land used to be considered to be more valuable than without any source of irrigation. So, what happened was that at the time of consolidation जब विलेज में होती थी, आज तो काफी सालों से हुई नहीं है किसी भी गांव में। अर्लियर क्या होता था कि सारी लैंड को उन्होंने ना फिर ये उसकी वैल्यू के हिसाब से उसके पैसे बना लेने हैं, आने बना लेने हैं। ये 8 आने की है, ये 4 आने की है, 6 आने की है, ये 8 आने की है, ये 10 आने की है, वो सारा बना के then they used to put it in the common hodgepodge. After consolidation, they will allot separate khasra numbers to the cultivator, to the owner, according to the value of the land earlier owned by him. So in that consolidation, new khasra numbers were being allotted according to the value of the land. But now, now these days, there is no such land which is without any source of irrigation, because everyone has installed the tube wells and all that. So very rarely you will find that there is no source of irrigation in that land. Then column number 7, this comes the khasra number. Now khasra numbers can be divided into 3 parts. Why I say 3 parts? Because popularly it is known as khasra numbers. There are various methods prevalent in Punjab in which the khasra numbers are being divided. In some part of the district, some districts, these are khasra numbers, and in some part it is rectangle number along with pila number. So rectangle number, उसमें आपने देखा होगा कि 1 नंबर लिख के या 25 नंबर लिख के उसके नीचे 2 हाइफन डाल के फिर 1 आता था, 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 आते थे. That means 25 is the rectangle number and the rest are the pila numbers. As far as khasra numbers were concerned, khasra numbers were one particular khasra number. तो जो रेक्टेंगल होती थी वो रेक्टेंगल एक बड़ी रेक्टेंगल को 25 हिस्सों में डिवाइड करके उसको फिर वो नंबर दे देते. नाउ इन दोस रेक्टेंगल नंबर्स, number 26 was always reserved for Ahata Cha. Ahata Cha means source of irrigation where the well was situated. From there, the land was, those 25 pilas, they were being irrigated. So that is the, and in khasra numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 आगे चलते हैं 1005, all numbers are given. So now here also we come to 2 things, that the measurements as far as canal and marlas are concerned. One canal is equal to 605 square yards and 8 canals 1 acre, 4840 square yards. So in Chandigarh, when we say this koti is of 1 canal or 2 canals, we lightly take it as 500 square yards or 1000 square yards. But as far as the agricultural land in Punjab is concerned, it is 4840 and it is 605 square yards consisting in particular khasra number. So that was the thing. Second was in Bigha, Biswa and Biswasi. You can just note it down. Biga, Biswa, and Biswasi. So in one biga consisted of 3,000 square yards of land. एक बीघे में 20 बिस्वासी, एक बीघे में 20 बिस्वे और एक बिस्वे में 20 बिस्वासी, मतलब एक में आगे 20, 20 के आगे 20 से हो गए 400 हो गए। 3000 को 400 से डिवाइड कर लो तो one बिस्वासी will come around 7.5 square yards of land. So that was the measurement of the land. और sometimes the agriculturists come कि जी साडे कच्चे बिगे है, सानू भी नहीं समझ आंदा सी भी कच्चे बिगे दा की मतलब है। कच्चे बिगे सीगा जेडे पक्के बिगे सी उन्हां नूं दो नाल डिवाइड कर लैंदे सी। 3000 स्क्वायर नूं 1500 स्क्वायर बनाता, वो कच्चे बिगे हो गए। But actually in the revenue record there is no such kacha biga and pakka bigas. There is only one type of bigas, that is known as this biga, consisting of 3,000 square yards. So that was the measurement made in the Jama Mandis. So as far as now presumption is concerned, under section 44 of the Punjab Land Revenue Act, Mr. Vishal, can you display it on the board?
Which section, sir? Which section?
Section 44.
Yes, sir.
Now section 44 says presumption in favor of entries in the record of rights and annual records. So meaning thereby that a presumption has been attached to both record of rights under section 31 and annual records under section 33 of the Act. So presumption is a statutory presumption. It is not a otherwise presumption made in the due course of business. It is a special presumption which has been granted to Jama Mandi and the annual record in the Land Revenue Act itself. So once the presumption is there, that means now the word used is rules therein to be true until, now this is very important, until the contrary is proved. दो चीजें होंगी कि if somebody else says that no, this presumption cannot be drawn by the court, then he has to prove that on what basis he is saying that this presumption cannot be drawn. Secondly, or a new entry is lawfully substituted thereof. Lawfully substituted thereof, if I have sold the property, mutation has been sanctioned, sale deed is there, and in my name, the name of the other person, the purchaser comes. So that means that person has been lawfully substituted. Secondly, partition हो गया property का, separate खाता numbers आ गए, खसरा numbers separate हो गए. Thirdly, mutation हो गई, father की death हो गई. After the death of the father, the property is mutated in the name of the various owners. So these two things, until the contrary is proved or a new entry is lawfully substituted. So this presumption will continue with them. It is not that this presumption can be lightly say or lightly be taken off. Okay, nahi yaar, ye to kuch nahi hai. It is a statutory presumption. Statute says so. Once the statute says, then the onus will be very heavy on the person who says that no, this entry is wrong. Now, then the question comes, if there is a dispute between the revenue record, Jama Mandi, and the municipal record. Now, municipal record is being maintained under the municipal corporation, municipal act, where the municipal committees are there, or notified area committees are there, or where the municipal corporations exist, municipal corporation act. Under both the acts, there is no statutory presumption attached to the municipal record. There is no such provision which says that any entry made by the municipal record or municipal authorities or municipal officers will be presumed to be true. So that has to be taken into consideration. Secondly, as far as the revenue record is being maintained by the officials in the official due discharge of their official duty, whereas the municipal record is also discharged, but there is no detailed procedure. अब शहर में आप चले जाओ, ना तो खसरा नंबर होंगे, ना किसी प्रॉपर्टी का कोई वो होगा कि ये 400 गज की है, 300 गज की है, 200 गज की है, ना उसका कोई नक्शा कॉर्पोरेशन में आपको मिलेगा कि आप बताइए जी ये फलाने महल्ले का मेरे को नक्शा चाहिए, उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज की डायमेंशंस बता दीजिए. दे विल से नो. और जो एंट्रीज इन दी house tax record are being made, they are being made either on the basis of what has been told by the owner or what they have come to know about the same. किसी ने लिखा दिया 200 गज है, 200 लिख लेना है, 250 गज है, 250 लिख लेना है. So there is no such thing, no such meticulous preparation of the record. So to say that municipal record and the revenue record, Jamamandis, stand at par is totally misconceived. Secondly, if the land has come within the urban area of a corporation, even then I think the Jamamandis will not lose their importance. However, some of the judgments do say that Jamamandi is of no consequence once the area has been included in the urban area. So that is also a misnomer, because Jamamandi will still guide and still being maintained. Either you dissolve the patwaris and patwar khanas and sarpanches over there, but that is not being done. Even if that is not done, then there is no record being maintained by the corporation in that field as is being maintained by the revenue officers. So it is not correct that the municipal record and the revenue record stand on a same footing. Now, as far as the vital portion of our discussion is that whether a document, Jamamandi is a document of title. There are two judgments of Supreme Court of India reported in AIR 1994 Supreme Court, page 227, and 1994 1 Triple C, page 212, and another judgment 1995 RCR Civil, page 444. These judgments do say that the Jamamandi is not a document of title. If Jamamandi is not a document of title, okay, agreed. But when we go through the judgment itself, therein the person had claimed the property on the basis of a registered document. Was the property is being claimed on the basis of a registered document and not only based on the basis of Jamamandi, then in the absence thereof that he is not able to prove the fact is totally different and distinct from the wording of the main section, which says, and secondly, we go through section 110 of the Indian Evidence Act, which says that burden of proof, which is popularly known as possession, is 9 points in law. That means a person who is shown to be in possession will be presumed to be the owner unless the person who is challenging the title thereto shows otherwise. So that presumption is also in favor of Jamamandi. Now, as I have already discussed under section 45, if there is a dispute regarding the entries made in the Jamamandi, then certainly that correction can only be made by this civil court and not by any other court. So that also adds presumption to the Jamamandi. So taking the case from any angle, Jamamandi stands on a different footing and is of different thing. Now, as far as the provisions of Transfer of Property Act are concerned, can you tell me, any one of you, that how many provisions of Transfer of Property Act regarding registration of documents are applicable in Punjab? Hanji Nilesh ji.
मुझे कुछ कहा जी?
मैं सभी को कह रहा हूँ
हाँ जी.
कि how many provisions of Transfer of Property Act regarding registration of documents are applicable in Punjab?
Like transfer, lease and ये पूछ रहे सर आप?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
हाँ तो गिफ्ट है, लीज है, सेल डीड है, तीन है, एक.
चलो मैं बताता हूँ आपको. सेल डीड जो है, that was made applicable to the state of Punjab with effect from 1st of April 1995, 55. 1455 से provisions of sale deed were made applicable, and if a person wanted to sell property, then he has to get it, sell the same through a registered document. So prior thereto, there was no such requirement. Now, as far as mortgage is concerned, the provisions of mortgage has been made applicable with effect from 10th of June 1968. Prior thereto, there was no requirement that a mortgage deed has to be got registered in accordance with the law. Done. Now third comes lease deed. Under section 107 of the Transfer of Property Act, that was extended with effect from 1st of April 1955. Prior thereto, the lease deed was not required to be registered. Now gift deed under section 123 of the Transfer of Property Act, that was made applicable from 1st of April 1955, and in the state of Pepsu, it was made applicable with effect from 15th of May 1957.
सर एक मॉर्गेज वाले की डेट आप बताएंगे?
मॉर्गेज वाली है 10/6/68, 10th of June 1968.
ठीक है सर.
Now, as far as the exchange deed is concerned, this is a new provision that it says that in the urban area, if an exchange is being made, then it has to be made through a registered document. That has also been made compulsory registrable in the urban area concerned. That notification is number 11/2/2000-ST/1/2212. So exchange deed is also required to be registered in the urban areas.
सर ये किस डेट से हुआ है?
ये डेट मैं बता दूंगा आपको, ये नोटिफिकेशन है.
11/2/2000 हो गया, 2000 ही हो गया होगा सर, क्योंकि स्टार्टिंग में यही डेट है 11/2/2000.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
11/2/2000 होगी इसकी डेट.
यही हो सकता है
जी सर.
So this provision has been made applicable. Now the question arises that what was the position prior thereto? इससे पहले की क्या पोजीशन थी? इससे पहले की पोजीशन ये थी कि दो बंदे जाते थे. मैं गया नीलेश जी को साथ लेके पटवारी के पास. पटवारी जी को कहा जाके कि साहब हमने अपनी प्रॉपर्टी बेच दी है. नीलेश जी कहते थे मैंने खरीद ली है जी, मैंने 5,000 में खरीद लिया, 5,000 इनको दे दिए. Statement used to be recorded in the mutation and then used to be attested by the assistant collector, and that was the end of the matter. Similarly, mortgage, similarly gift deed. I'll be circulating, Mr. Vishal will be circulating the article which I have written. All these things are incorporated therein. So, meaning thereby that mutation earlier was the only thing on the basis of which everything was being done. क्योंकि ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट तो लगता नहीं था, डॉक्यूमेंट चाहिए नहीं था, सो देयर हैड टू बी सम वे कि भी किसने किसको प्रॉपर्टी बेच दिया, कैसे हुआ कैसे नहीं हुआ, तो वो सारा करके, एंड दैट इज व्हाई द साइकी ऑफ द विलेजर्स यू मस्ट हैव सीन कि जी साडा इंतकाल हो गया, हम एवरीथिंग इज फाइनल नाउ, कानून कहने की कोई लोड़ नहीं है। वो अभी भी मतलब फॉर द लास्ट 70 इयर्स, 55 से भी ला लें तो 65 इयर्स हो गए, अभी भी उनके दिमाग से वो साइकी नहीं निकली है कि इंतकाल होना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, डॉक्यूमेंट होना इंपॉर्टेंट है। वो अभी भी इसी चक्कर में रहते हैं, ना जी ना इंतकाल हो गया जी, बस गल खत्म हो गई। तो दैट साइकी कैन नॉट बी you can say washed away from their minds.
सर थोड़ा सा इंतकाल का भी बता दीजिए 2 मिनट में।
मैं बताता हूँ जी, इंतकाल पे भी आता हूँ। इंतकाल के लिए भी बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है। अब एक होता है अक्सजरा, अक्सजरा होता है, उसको लट्ठा भी कहते हैं,
विलेज मैप जैसा होता है पूरा,
विलेज में
कपड़े पे,
उस कपड़े पे, उसमें सारी वो दिखाई होती है पोजीशन ऑफ द खसरा नंबर्स, रेक्टेंगल नंबर्स, कितनी पहिए हैं, रास्ते कितने हैं, और रास्ते की चौड़ाई कितनी है, वो कर्मों में और में, दैट इज अ डिटेल्ड मैटर व्हिच कैन बी डिस्कस्ड लेटर ऑन। उसमें सारा दिखाया होता है, एंड इफ वन हैज टू सी द लोकेशन ऑफ द लैंड, then he has to get the copy of that akshajara or latha from the patwari, which he draws on a glazed paper and certifies it and gives it to you. Now, as has been asked by Padam, intikal. Now, intikal has a very interesting thing. अब इंतकाल को क्या कहते हैं? उसे मान लो
डेथ,
कि इसका जी इंतकाल हो गया,
डेथ हो गई।
one ITO came to me, मैंने ना वो he was discussing the matter, तो मैंने उसको कहा, मैंने कहा इसका इंतकाल हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? कहता जी आप क्या बात कर रहे हो, इंतकाल का तो मतलब मरना होता है, इसमें मरेगा कौन? और मैंने कहा भैया इंतकाल का मतलब अकेला ये नहीं होता, इंतकाल मीन्स म्यूटेशन, चेंज ऑफ नेम फ्रॉम वन पर्सन टू अनदर, तो दैट इज नोन एज इंतकाल। हम कहते हैं इंतकाल हो गया, इट इज नॉट दैट टू बी टेकन अदरवाइज। नाउ इन यूपी it is not known as intikal. Can anybody tell that what is how it is known in UP?
मुझे पता था सर, मैं भूल गया।
भूल गया।
वहाँ कहते हैं उसको
दाखिल खारिज,
दाखिल खारिज, यस यस, दाखिल खारिज। बिहार में भी सर, बिहार यूपी दोनों जगह
वो सारा यूपी में वही कहते हैं दाखिल
खारिज,
मतलब दाखिल
एंट्री एंड
डिस्चार्ज,
यस, एंट्री एंड डिस्चार्ज,
दाखिल खारिज। वहां जाके किसी को कहो ना कि इंतकाल बता दे क्या है, तो कहेगा भैया किसका इंतकाल हो गया, यू विल से कि दाखिल खारिज, उसको कहो दाखिल खारिज, वो कहेगा हाँ जी हाँ बताओ किसका चाहिए। So that is known as intikal. Intikal means transfer of property from one person to another by any of the means. It is not that it can be done by only lawful means. It is to be done only by lawful means. चाहे वो म्यूटेशन का इनहेरिटेंस हो, चाहे वो म्यूटेशन का सेल डीड का हो, चाहे गिफ्ट डीड का हो, चाहे ट्रांसफर डीड का हो, चाहे मॉर्गेज का हो, चाहे लीज का हो, चाहे किसी भी चीज का हो। So that is known as intikal. Now lastly but not the least, there is one judgment, 1954 Supreme Court, page 379. It is a full bench judgment which has been often ignored in the latest judgments, wherein they say that Jamamandi is not a document of title. इसमें क्या था कि ancestral property साबित करनी थी इन्होंने, उन्होंने जमाबंदी ला के पेश कर दी. The other person was saying that no, it is the self-acquired property of a person. वो कहता है नहीं देखिए ये तो कह तो रहा है कि सेल्फ एक्वायर्ड प्रॉपर्टी है या हमें उससे है, ये तो साबित तो कर ही नहीं पा रहा. Then the Supreme Court said that if the property is passed on from generation to generation, from times immemorial, अब मान लीजिए 1882 में या 1887 में पंजाब लैंड रेवेन्यू एक्ट बना, तब जो भी बंदा बैठा था उसको मालिक बना के उन्होंने बना दिया रिकॉर्ड. उसके बाद उसके वो मर गया, उसका बेटा आ गया, उसका वो उसकी डेथ हो गई, उसका बेटा आ गया, उसका बेटा आ गया. एंड नाउ अल्टीमेटली ही डज नॉट हैव एनी डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ टाइटल. ना सेल डीड है उसके पास, ना मॉर्गेज डीड है, ना गिफ्ट डीड है, ना कुछ है. हाउ विल ही प्रूव हिज ओनरशिप? So for him, Jamabandi is a document of title. So the proposition that Jamabandi is not a document of title is not an absolute proposition. Secondly, the challenge to the Jamabandi has not to be frivolous. कि मान लीजिए मेरे सेल डीड थी, 40 साल पहले मेरे बुजुर्गों ने सेल डीड से प्रॉपर्टी खरीद ली है, इंतकाल मेरे नाम पे हो गया, and I am exercising all the rights of ownership over that property. But somehow or the other I am not able to lay my hands on the original Jamabandi और रिकॉर्ड्स ऑफ रजिस्ट्रार से मिलता नहीं है, तो मैं क्या करूंगा? That means I will be washing off my hands from the property. That cannot be the intention of law. अगर दूसरा बंदा ये कहता है कि भैया नहीं ये मालिक नहीं है, तो then prima facie by cogent and convincing evidence he is to show that how he is challenging and on what basis he is challenging and on what basis he is claiming that property to be his. वो कहता है जी इसकी सैलरी नहीं हुई, मेरी हुई है. Am I clear? तो अगर तो वो इस बात पे आए, हमारी कोर्ट्स क्या करती हैं कि उसने आके डिनाई कर दिया जी, तो आपने तो साबित करना ही करना है. ऐसे तो हर चीज ही डिनाई करेगा वो. एक पुरानी कहावत भी थी, कैन यू अनम्यूट इंग्लिश, अनम्यूट कर देना.
सर सब
क्या हुआ?
कर सकते हैं अनम्यूट.
हाँ जी. क्या था कि अनारकली बाजार में ना जी, लाहौर में एक टेलर होता था. वो टेलर था तो कपड़े सीता था.
बिल्कुल ठीक है.
तो उसने कपड़े सिए, वो बंदे ने पैसे नहीं दिए.
एफिडेविट दिया है, एफिडेविट कॉपी है हमारे पास.
हैं जी.
बल्कि मैंने जस्ट आपको हंसते हुए लास्ट में कहा.
प्लीज म्यूट एवरीबॉडी, प्लीज म्यूट.
तो उसने क्या किया जी कि वो दर्जी ने दावा कर दिया कि जी इसने इतने रुपए के कपड़े सिलवाए, मेरे को उजरत नहीं दी. अब वो बंदा कोर्ट में आ गया. आके कोर्ट में वो डिफेंस क्या लेता है कि पहले तो जी लाहौर शहर ही नहीं है, ये साबित करो कि लाहौर शहर है कोई. कहता अगर ये साबित कर देता है लाहौर शहर है तो उसमें अनारकली कोई बाजार ही नहीं है. कहता चलो अगर अनारकली बाजार भी साबित कर देगा तो कहता उसमें इस नाम का कोई बंदा नहीं है जो टेलरिंग का काम करता हो. कहता जी चलो ये भी साबित हो जाए कि ये बंदा टेलरिंग का काम करता है. तो कहता मेरा इससे क्या लेना देना, मैंने तो इससे कुछ नहीं करवाया, इसने ऐसी दावा कर दिया. कहता चलो अगर ये भी हो जाए साबित कि इसने मेरे कपड़े सिए थे, तो जनाब ये बताइए कि कोई दर्जी पैसे लिए बगैर कपड़े दे देता? पहले कहता मेरी सिलाई निकालो तब मैं कपड़े दूंगा. कहता चलो ये भी साबित हो जाए कि मैंने पैसे नहीं दिए. कहता साहब फिर मैं ये कहता हूँ कि मैं गरीब आदमी हूँ सर, मेरी किस्तें कर दो. हमारी डिफेंस जो होती है कोर्ट्स में, तो इट इज बीइंग टेकन इन दैट स्पिरिट कि वंस द पर्सन हैज डिनाइड इट, ओके यू प्रूव इट. सो देखो तो सही भैया, प्राइमा फेसी अप्लाई तो करो माइंड, हाउ एंड ऑन व्हाट बेसिस ही इज डिनाइंग द टाइटल. टाइटल डिनाई कर रहे हैं, डॉक्यूमेंट कोई है नहीं कॉन्ट्रेम्पररी टू प्रूव दैट फैक्ट. एंड वो लगे हुए हैं, फिर वो कहते हैं मुन्ना भाई लगे रहो, लगे हुए जी मुकदमेबाजी में. So this is the thing which has been happening in the courts, and if the courts do apply their mind at the start of the litigation, when the issues are framed, then 80% of the litigation will go away. Because basis ही नहीं होगा, डॉक्यूमेंट ही नहीं होगा प्राइम शाही. अब जुबानी एविडेंस को तो मानेंगे नहीं आप. एक तरफ आपके पास जमाबंदी है जिसको प्रिजम्पशन ऑफ ट्रुथ है, सेक्शन 110 की है, 114 की प्रिजम्पशन है कि ऑफिशियल वर्क हैज बीन डन इन द ड्यू डिस्चार्ज ऑफ द ड्यूटीज. All those things are there and they are being prepared under a particular statute. और दूसरी तरफ उसकी सिंपल डिनायल है. And the litigation drags on for years and years and years together. And then we say that the courts are being overburdened. Why the courts are being overburdened? Because it is because of our non-applicability of the correct provisions in its correct perspective. Otherwise also, कि law को जब हमने interpret करना है, तो we are to take into consideration all the provisions conjointly. सभी को साथ में ध्यान में रख के फिर law को interpret करना है. हमारा क्या है, जो मैं पहले भी कहा था कि एक सेक्शन को पकड़ा, उस पर सारी जजमेंट घुमा दी, बाकी देखे नहीं, 10 सेक्शन और भी हैं जी कोई. So that is a wrong provision and that is why litigation is multiplying. और आपने देखा होगा कि 1970 से पहले जितनी सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट्स है, how well written and well reasoned those judgments are. और कोई 3 जजों और 4 जजों से कम किसी की भी वो नहीं है. Because they laid down the law in its entirety by taking into consideration all the facts into mind. ये नहीं हुआ कभी एक सेक्शन को पकड़ लिया और बाकी सबको भूल गए. So that is not the law. So ultimately we can say that जमाबंदी is a document of title. और दूसरी बात एक और चलिए, when you go to get a sale deed registered, सब रजिस्ट्रार, some of you must have gone there. तो सब रजिस्ट्रार कहता है कि जी लेटेस्ट जमाबंदी लेके आओ, फर्द लेके आओ.
बिल्कुल लेटेस्ट मांगते हैं.
लेटेस्ट मांगता है या TS1 मांगता है. तो भैया अगर इसकी साली कोई वैल्यू नहीं है तो वो ये कहे कि पुरानी सेल डीड लेके आओ. वो दो चीजें हैं. इफ जमाबंदी को कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, तो then you should call for all the sale deeds, not the jamabandi. So that means jamabandi is a document, is an evidence of title. If it is an evidence of title, then that evidence cannot be brushed aside, just surmises and conjectures. You have to take it in its right perspective and apply it correctly. So my humble submission is that in this respect, I will say that whatever, firstly, the head notes which have been prepared regarding the reported judgments, they have not been correctly framed. When they say that, no, these are not document of title, they are prepared only for fiscal purposes, that is wrong. Secondly, they should say that, okay, Jamabandi is a document of title, but in these circumstances, since the party has claimed his right on the basis of a sale deed which he has failed to prove, and that challenge was also very solid and on convincing grounds, only then it can be said that no, Jamabandi is a document of title, because there cannot be any absolute proposition in law. 100% तो मेडिकल साइंस में भी नहीं है, वहां भी 2% का एरर तो रखते हैं वो भी. हमारे यहाँ इसको कैसे कह दिया कि जमाबंदी 1882 का एक्ट है, more than 120 years, 40 years are there, it is on the statute book, and one fine morning we say that no, छोड़ो जी, ये तो बेकार है सर, all this exercise is a useless exercise. So my humble submission is that document is a document, maybe a Jamabandi is a document of title, and it has to be given its due respect and weightage which it deserves. It cannot be disregarded only on the grounds that it is prepared for fiscal purposes. It is not fiscal purposes. Fiscal purposes तो खत्म हो गया आजकल. लैंड रेवेन्यू के लिए तो है ही नहीं, लैंड रेवेन्यू तो माफी कर दिया गवर्नमेंट ने. फिर म्यूटेशंस क्यों होती हैं? फिर फाइनेंशियल कमिश्नर तक आपने बनाया क्यों है कि वो सारी म्यूटेशन चैलेंज करेंगे जी आप? होता है कि पहले असिस्टेंट कलेक्टर, फिर कलेक्टर, फिर फाइनेंशियल कमिश्नर, कमिश्नर, फिर फाइनेंशियल कमिश्नर, then High Court, and if not High Court, then again come to square one, and सांप सीढ़ी वाला खेल है, फिर सिविल कोर्ट में आके शुरू हो जाओ. So I will conclude my discussion on this, and if there are queries, I'll be very happy to.
थैंक यू जिंदल साहब, आपने बहुत ही एक टॉपिक जो काफी समझ नहीं आता, सिविल और रेवेन्यू का टॉपिक है, पर सबके लिए यूजफुल है, आपने रखा हमारे बीच में, आपका बहुत धन्यवाद. अब मैं क्वेश्चंस के लिए इनवाइट करूंगा. सबसे पहले मैं जगदीप जसवाल जी ने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा है चैट बॉक्स में. His question is, if some property has been mutated in past, can it be later on registered? Later on, बाद में उसकी रजिस्ट्री हो सकती है?
नहीं, mutated कैसे हुआ? On what basis the mutation has been sanctioned?
Jagdeep ji, are you here? He was here. Yes, Jagdeep ji, you can ask your question.
Yes, sir, I am here.
Yes, please. अब क्वेश्चन पूछिए अपना सीधा.
हेलो जिंदल सर.
हाँ जी सर.
जैसे कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी सर ये म्यूटेशन हो रखी है बाय वे ऑफ इनहेरिटेंस और लाइक एनी अदर मैनर, जैसे आपने
हाँ जी
कि सेल भी हो गई लेकिन दो बंदे जाके वहां पे बोल आए और उसी के बेस पे वो उन्होंने म्यूटेशन कर दी. कैन दैट बी रजिस्टर्ड लेटर ऑन?
नहीं, वो जो सेल डीड जब म्यूटेशन करनी है, तो then they have to see that whether there is a registered document of sale or not. Otherwise,
Okay,
that
sir.
mutation will not confer any title.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you very much.
So, not on the basis of oral admission. That was prior to 1455.
1955.
1455 से पहले था ये.
Thank you,
After-
sir. Thank you.
After 1st of April 1955, there cannot be any mutation sanctioned on the
Without
basis of.
registered document.
हाँ,
Without
और
registered
इनहेरिटेंस
document.
की हो सकती है सिर्फ.
Okay, sir.
इनहेरिटेंस की हो सकती है कि मेरे फादर थे जी, उनकी डेथ हो गई है, he has not executed any will.
Okay, sir.
सर उसकी कोई लिमिटेशन तो नहीं है?
उसकी लिमिटेशन नहीं है.
कोई लिमिटेशन?
इनहेरिटेंस वाली जो लिमिटेशन है वो that is the second topic which we will be discussing in next week.
Yes.
Let me prepare the article first.
Okay. Thank
That
you.
is also a very interesting subject.
Okay.
Thank you, Jindal.
Okay sir.
नीलेश जी स्माइलिंग. नीलेश जी आपका क्वेश्चन है कोई?
सर मैं तो ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, जो लालडोरे में जमीन पड़ती है उसके सेल परचेज का हिसाब कैसे रखा जाता है सर, क्योंकि उसकी सेल डीड तो होती नहीं.
सर ऐसा है कि I was reading other day the Punjab Land Record Manual.
जी सर.
जो एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड थी ना, जो लालडोरे के अंदर भी जमीन आती थी, उसको भी पहले डिवाइड किया हुआ था प्लॉट्स में इन्होंने, और उसका भी रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन किया जाता था. मगर वो विद द रिपीटेड कंसोलिडेशंस दैट रिकॉर्ड हैज बीन डिस्ट्रॉयड, और उसके बाद किसी ने तैयार नहीं किया. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द वाइटल क्वेश्चंस व्हिच इज बीइंग पुट इनटू ट्रायल. कि मान लीजिए कि लालडोरे के अंदर जमीन है, हम तहसीलदार के पास जाते हैं, वो कहते हैं पहले मलकियत दिखाओ आपकी. You are not the owner of any, you don't possess any document. So he does not register the sale deed. अगर 100 रुपए से ज्यादा है, then it requires the registration. कल को आपको अगर कोई चैलेंज करता है तो then it becomes very difficult. तो फिर तो उसमें वही आएगा सेक्शन 110 कि आपने पैसे दे दिए, या म्युनिसिपल नंबर लगवा लिया, म्युनिसिपल नंबर लगवा के उसके साथ मेल मिला के रजिस्ट्री करवा ली, या फिर वो जिसकी लाठी उसकी भैंस जो बैठा बीच में, he has to fight
सर
it out.
पहले
But
तो पंजाब का मेरे को पता नहीं, पहले तो हरियाणा में चूल्हा टैक्स होता था.
हाँ जी, चूल्हा टैक्स था.
जो चूल्हा टैक्स देते थे उनको माना जाता था कि लालडोरे के अंदर के मालिक वही हैं जो चूल्हा टैक्स दे रहे हैं.
हाँ, वो पंजाब में भी था चूल्हा टैक्स, वो अब अबॉलिश कर दिया.
10-15 साल से वो भी एबॉलिश कर दिया, तो अब तो कोई तरीका ही नहीं है ये पता करने का कि कौन कौन.
ना जी ना, कोई तरीका नहीं है. वैसे अगर ओरिजिनली इसको देखा जाए तो जो ये लालडोरे के अंदर जमीन आती थी ना जी, वो क्या होता था कि द पर्सन्स हु वर होल्डिंग द एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड इन द विलेज, they were granted some property in the Laldora to reside therein.
यस.
That was the purpose. आप रह लो भैया, घर आपको यहाँ बना लो आप और कल्टीवेट करो.
जी सर.
तो वो था. मगर आजकल वो एक प्रॉब्लम आ रही है और कई केसेस में आई भी है. तो पहले क्या होता था कि 99 रुपए की में भी वो बना लेते थे सेल डीड. अब 99 रुपए की सेल डीड बनाओ तो इट बिकम्स लुक्स रिडिकुलस कि 99 रुपए में वो कहता है चल चल यार तूने 99 की बनाई है, मैं तो 99 100 देता हूँ, आजा दे दे प्रॉपर्टी मेरे को।
नहीं सर, इनफैक्ट अब तो लालडोरे की जमीन जो है, ये बिल्डर वगैरह जो है, जो लालडोरे में थोड़ी बहुत ही बची हुई जमीन थी एग्रीकल्चरल, उनको प्लॉट काट के बेचने लग गए।
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
सर एक क्वेश्चन हो रहा है सर मेरा, इससे
हाँ
पहले
जी,
कि पे जाए, जो ये जो प्रोप्राइटर्स विलेज हुआ करते थे, मतलब जो बरानी में होते थे और बंजर खादिम होते थे, जिसमें जो प्रोप्राइटर विलेज होते थे 4-5 आदमियों का ही पूरा हिस्सा होता था गांव में,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
वो प्रोप्राइटर्स वहां से चले गए। उसके बाद कंसोलिडेशन के बाद वो जो जमीनें थी वो काफी सारी पंचायत जब बनाई गई तो पंचायत में वो गैर मुमकिन दिखा दी गई, पंचायत के अलग अलग कामों के लिए रख दी गई। जो उसमें रिजर्व लैंड थी वो वापस प्रोप्राइटर्स के पास आई, लेकिन वो प्रोप्राइटर्स की उसपे मलकियत कैसे दिखाई देगी?
उसमें ऐसा है ना, इसीलिए तो मैंने
गांव
आपको
वाली
कहा,
साइड में ये बड़ा इशू आ रहा है, क्योंकि गुड़गांव सारा का सारा बंजर का दिन था पहले, या
मैं
तो
बताता हूँ कि आपको
गैर मुमकिन पहाड़ थे या
हाँ,
बंजर का दिन थे, और सारी की सारी जमीन जो है वो प्रोप्राइटर्स की हुआ करती थी।
जो कॉलम नंबर 3 था ना जी,
जी सर।
कॉलम नंबर 3 में वो पत्तीज एंड तरफ एंड ठोलाज आते थे।
जी सर।
मान लीजिए एक पत्ती की जमीन है तो
जी
उस
सर।
पत्ती के ओनर्स भी दिखाए जाते थे भी कौन कौन है।
जी सर।
दोज ओनर्स इन दी पत्ती दे वर दी ओनर्स ऑफ दैट कॉमन लैंड, क्योंकि उनके हिस्से से कट करके वो वहां रखी जाती थी।
अब
पर्पस उसका ये था कि भी कल को जो उनके मवेशी हैं, एनिमल है, मिल्क कैटल है,
जी
they
सर।
can go and feed themselves from those common lands.
बिल्कुल सर।
तो वो क्या हुआ कि अब विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम जो ओरिजिनल प्रोप्राइटर थे दे हैव सोल्ड द प्रॉपर्टी, थर्ड पर्सन हैव कम, कंसोलिडेशन की अब 40-50 साल से किसी गांव में नहीं हो रही।
बिल्कुल सर।
वो उसके कारण क्या हो गया कि अब सारा हौच पौच सा हो गया।
इनफैक्ट सर
जैसे आपके मतलब हरियाणा में एक खप पंचायत है, वो कहते हैं कि गोद में नहीं करना, तो वो दो दैट इज बीइंग डाइल्यूटेड।
बिल्कुल सर।
So that was equivalent to this also कि only the owners of that पत्ती were the owners, और दूसरी होती थी शामला दे।
जी सर।
शामला दे जो होती थी वो that vested in the पंचायत,
पंचायत।
which could be used by the पंचायत for common purposes।
जी सर।
वो अलग से निकाली जाती थी
जी सर।
at the time of consolidation।
बिल्कुल।
तो ये जो होती थी ये करते थे शामला पत्ती स्वर्ण से,
जी सर।
शामला दे नहीं लिखते थे कभी।
जी सर।
That is why Village Common Lands Regulation Act इनको बनाना पड़ा।
जी सर।
That was the purpose of promulgation of that act by the legislature।
इनफैक्ट
उसमें
सर
दिखाना पड़ा भी कैसे ग्राम पंचायत करेंगे।
विलेज कॉमन लैंड एक्ट पे भी पूरा एक सेशन करेंगे हम अभी आने वाले टाइम में।
ओके ओके।
हितेंद्र जी आपका कोई प्रश्न है?
हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी सर।
प्लीज गो अहेड।
गुड इवनिंग सर।
गुड इवनिंग कांसल जी।
सर जिस तरह ये जीरकपुर है, जीरकपुर में मेरे एक क्लाइंट के पास क्या है, सेल डीड है, जमाबंदी है, बट व्हेन वी गो टू द रेवेन्यू ऑफिस के जी ये जगह कहाँ है ये बता दो, दे विल से नथिंग। तो अब जमाबंदी का हम कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं टू फाइंड आउट दैट वेरी पर्टिकुलर लैंड? स्टिल इन 2020 इट इज एग्जिस्ट।
नहीं, उसमें आपने वो डिमार्केशन के लिए दी जगह?
सर डिमार्केशंस की एप्लीकेशन देते हैं, वो कहते हैं कि 20 साल से हुई नहीं, दे विल केप पेंडिंग, नथिंग।
इसमें चक्कर क्या है मैं बताता हूँ। दैट इज द डिफिकल्टी बीइंग फेस्ड बाय अस कि जब ये अर्बनाइजेशन होगी ना जी सारी प्रॉपर्टीज की,
हाँ जी सर।
तो इसमें क्या हुआ कि डिमार्केशन जो पक्के ठड्डे बने हुए थे,
हाँ जी।
from where the demarcation was used to be made, they have been demolished by the persons।
डेफिनेटली सर।
तो डिमार्केशन होती नहीं है।
हाँ जी सर।
कागजों में वो जगह खड़ी है,
हाँ जी।
लोकेशन पता नहीं लगता कहाँ पे है। अगर आप लट्ठा भी लेके चले जाओ, सजरा भी लेके चले जाओ, तो पता नहीं लगेगा कहाँ है।
डेफिनेटली
क्योंकि
सर।
उसमें
यही प्रॉब्लम आ रही है बेसिकली एट द टाइम ऑफ परचेजिंग दैट लैंड वाज एग्रीकल्चर, नाउ द एरिया हैज बीन डेवलप्ड।
हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी। तो वो यही है कि भी उसमें ना बस और कुछ नहीं किया जा सकता। दैट इज द ओनली वे आउट कि किसी तरीके से अगर डिमार्केशन हो तो देन सर्टेनली समथिंग कैन बी डन।
ओके।
अदरवाइज तो ऐसी कई जगह है, मेरे पास भी ऐसे कई केस आए हैं जिनमें प्रॉपर्टी एग्जिस्ट करती है रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड में, तो मौके पे नहीं है। अब डिमार्केशन करने जाते हैं तो then demarcation cannot be done because it is all constructed land. तो पक्का ठंडा ही नहीं मिलता, कहाँ से स्टार्ट करनी है।
Definitely, sir.
So that is the basic lacuna in the act or lacuna in the system itself. कि जब उन्होंने कब्जे किए, कंस्ट्रक्शंस कर ली, किसी ने एनक्रोच अपॉन कर लिया, अब खसरा नंबर ही नहीं पता कहाँ गए कहाँ नहीं गए। So that is the difficulty. तो ये है कि अभी जब आपके बंदे ने खरीदी थी, अगर तभी उसने चार दीवारी वगैरह करके रखी होती, कुछ किया होता, तो then that would have been, he would have been saved from this trouble. So that is a big difficulty being faced, practical difficulty.
So my question to Jindal Sahab is that while practicing on civil side and on criminal side, we often come across matters wherein injunction is either refused or granted in favor of a co-sharer, or it is refused to a co-sharer by relying on a judgment in Swaran Singh's case, wherein Honorable Justice Singhvi and Justice Chalapati in a division bench answering a reference held that an injunction cannot be granted against a co-sharer and gave 9 points that in what circumstances it can be granted.
Yes.
Now, when we say that injunction can be granted against a co-sharer, if the person who's a plaintiff is having exclusive possession,
Yes.
hostile to another. Now,
Yes.
reading Jamabandi, sir, comes us to a situation where often, as you rightly pointed out in the beginning of your address itself, that instead of doing the complete work, the revenue officials simply write slash so-and-so slash hissa in such and such land. So in these circumstances, what is the way to find exclusive possession of the co-owners to say that we are in exclusive possession and we are wanting injunction? Now this results into a situation where one brother against another brother manages to lodge an FIR, but revenue record reflects they are all co-owners. So if they're all co-owners, no FIR can be registered, no injunction can be granted. But police or local administration take matters at their own whims and fences. Can you please guide our listeners on YouTube and Facebook about this particular aspect?
This is a very ticklish matter in which there is a lot of confusion as far as the exclusive possession regarding agricultural land is concerned. So one way of proving the exclusive possession is perusal of the Khasra Girdwari. If a particular Khasra number is shown to be in possession of a particular person, then he can say that, yes, I am the exclusive owner. Secondly, if he is in exclusive possession of the entire property, then the second derivative method is कि वो सारा एक नक्शा पैदावार होता है.
Right.
नक्शा पैदावार जो प्रॉपर्टी में यील्ड होती है वो पटवारी बना देता है. तो वो बना देगा अभी कितनी यील्ड हुई, तो उसकी यील्ड क्या आपने बेची होगी कमीशन एजेंट के. That is a corroborative evidence.
That is right, sir.
And if the other brother says, no, I am the owner, I am in possession, भैया बता दे फिर कहाँ पे कि तूने जमीन खरीदी, क्या बेची, कहाँ से क्या लिया, कहाँ से फर्टिलाइजर लिए, कहाँ से उसका वो किया, everything, बीज कहाँ से लिए. So those are the corroborative piece of evidence by which we can prove that we are in exclusive possession. Otherwise, as far as the revenue code is concerned, that law is totally confusing. I have not been able to understand that what is a co-sharer and how the injunction cannot be granted.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, if he is assumed to be in possession of the entire property, फिर तो बात ही खत्म होगी.
Yes, sir.
Then the only remedy lies with the person is to file a suit for partition, and that
Right,
will
sir.
drag on for 20 years, 30 years.
Yes, sir.
So those are the corroborative piece of evidence which can be used by a person to prove his exclusive possession. कि मान लीजिए 20 क्विंटल ही एक किले में आई है, 20 क्विंटल आपने बेच दी और 20 क्विंटल का उसका कमीशन एजेंट का आपके पास है, and that value has been deposited in your account. Let the other party show that भी आपने कितनी बेची, कितनी आपके पास आई. So that can be the only way out. Otherwise, the law is very confusing. On co-sharer, nobody is clear as to what are the rights and liabilities of a co-share.
Sir, they were not clear till 5:10 p.m. Now they are clear, sir. Everybody, after hearing your answer, sir.
Okay.
I could not have asked for more. I must say that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Amit Rai.
बात ऐसी है करण के हमने भी धक्के खा के सीखे हैं, बादाम खाने से तो कल आई नहीं.
सर वही बादाम खाने बंद करने पड़ेंगे सर, वही दिक्कत हो रही है.
Mr. Amit Rai.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Mr. Amit Rai, please. Unmute, please unmute कर लीजिए. जी बोल.
सर बच्चों की आवाज बहुत ज्यादा आ रही है, इसलिए मैंने म्यूट किया हुआ है इधर.
हाँ जी बोलिए बोलिए.
बोलिए.
नहीं ठीक है, मैं एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ जिंदल साहब को बहुत बार देखा भी है कोर्ट में मैंने. जिंदल साहब आर्गुमेंट बहुत अच्छा करते हैं, तो मैं जब भी जिंदल साहब आते हैं तो देखता जरूर हूँ, बेशक मैं ज्वाइन ना करूँ.
ठीक है जी.
थैंक यू फॉर अमित जी, आते रहिए आप.
वेलकम अमित जी, आप आते रहिएगा आगे से.
जी मैं कल से कंटिन्यू आऊंगा सर, कंटिन्यू आऊंगा मैं.
मैंने आपको ग्रुप में डाल दिया है, तो आपको मिलता रहेगा वो मैसेजेस.
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल सर.
और ये जो आज का आर्टिकल है ये मैंने लिख भी दिया है. मिस्टर विशाल विल बी सेंडिंग इट टू यू ऑन द ईमेल.
I'll do that जी, I'll do that.
To all of the persons who have participated, please provide your email to Mr. Vishal.
दिया हुआ सर, दिया हुआ. सबने दिया हुआ.
All are requested to send their email IDs on WhatsApp group so that we can record it once and for all, and then in future we will be sending everything on your email so that you can retain a record. So all of you are requested to please send your email IDs on the WhatsApp group so that we can take a record of it.
Amit, do come and meet me whenever you visit Ludhiana.
Jindal sahab, I am on the way to Ludhiana.
अच्छा.
विशाल कर दिए हैं.
जिंदल सर,
I was really planning कि अगर कल मेरे को टाइम मिला, I will do visit you sir.
कोई नहीं सर, most welcome.
10-15 थालियां पूरियों की मंगा लेना, इससे कम में चलेगा नहीं.
Okay.
Any other
question?
Bhavjeet is also there.
Bhavjeet ji.
Sir, you have covered each and every aspect. That is very good, and you have already sent the article. All the doubts will be cleared by reading everything. And I will request you, okay, sir, just pen down all this revenue law. I would really love to publish the books on the revenue law by you.
चलो, so nice of you. करते हैं कोशिश.
सर, दिस इज एन इनवैल्यूएबल इंफॉर्मेशन जो आपने इतने एक्सपीरियंस से गेन की है. दिस विल फॉर ऑल द जनरेशंस टू कम. काइंडली पेन डाउन फ्रॉम स्टार्टिंग.
ओके, मैं बताता हूँ आपको. भवजीत क्या था कि मेरे सीनियर थे मिस्टर जानजी.
शुड बी पेन डाउन सर.
हु वाज कजन ऑफ जस्टिस बीके जानजी. तो मेरे को वो अक्सर कहा करते थे, कहते जिंदल यार मेरे को एक ही हॉबी है, एक ही शौक है. मैंने कहा जी क्या? कहते मेरे को जूनियर ट्रेन करने का शौक है.
अच्छा.
मैंने कहा जी वो कैसे? कहते ऐसी बात है कि चलो जब मैं नहीं रहूंगा तो एटलीस्ट माय जूनियर्स विल बी देयर एंड दे विल बी डूइंग वेल
जी.
so then that will be a great contribution given by me to the profession. Otherwise पैसा कमा लिया, नाम कमा लिया, प्रॉपर्टी बना ली और कर लिया, that is all personal to me, but my contribution to the profession will be nil.
So that's what I'm saying. Now you write a book on the revenue law, and it will be the Bible on the revenue law. Everybody will, for all times to come, will remember you.
What we will do is that we will write certain articles on certain practical aspects.
जी.
So अगर पूरी किताब लिखो ना जी उसमें, तो वो पंजाब लैंड रेवेन्यू एक्ट की है, कवर पब्लिकेशंस की है पहली
जी.
तो वो that is not feasible. बस ये छोटे-छोटे आर्टिकल्स होंगे ना उसमें
जी.
छोटे आर्टिकल्स में क्या होगा कि everybody will be able to understand and make use of it.
नहीं, बिल्कुल ठीक है सर. आप सारे एस्पेक्ट्स पे आर्टिकल्स लिख दीजिए, then we can compile as lectures on revenue law.
हाँ बिल्कुल, we can do it.
है ना, आप सारे आर्टिकल्स लिख दीजिए.
नहीं, अब थोड़ा सा ना जी ऐसा है कि पहले जो लिखा था ना आर्टिकल, मैंने पहले 2 आर्टिकल लिखे थे, उसमें मेरे को बहुत टाइम लगा था
जी.
3, 4, 5 उसकी रिवीजन हुई और हुआ, ये हुआ वो हुआ.
जी.
अब ये तो एक बार लिखा और दूसरी बार रिवीजन कर दिया, बात खत्म, फाइनल.
वो प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगी सर, नॉट अ
तो
प्रॉब्लम।
प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगी.
हाँ
So
जी,
I'll
हाँ
be doing that.
हाँ जी, we will publishing the articles regularly in the magazine, and thereafter जब number of pages sufficient होंगे, we can come up with a compilation, not a issue.
Compilation we can come up.
But in regular course, we will publishing articles on a regular basis in our magazine, not a issue.
Because हरमिंदर से मेरी बात हो रही थी. I have written a book, Mantra to become a successful advocate.
जी 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 जी.
That is around 80 pages, full scape sheet.
अच्छा जी.
We are thinking to get it published. तो उसमें मतलब ये है कि junior advocates के लिए they will come to know that what are the fundas and mantras by which they can do the hard work and come on the top.
Very fine, sir. Very fine.
Because I was earlier reading on Google with regard to Kapil Sibal. Kapil Sibal came into practice in 1980. After 2 years, I joined the practice.
Okay.
And for 20 years or 25 years, he was not a known figure.
जी जी.
And after 23, 4, 5 years, he just became a known figure.
जी.
It takes time.
जी sir.
It is not that all.
He did the famous impeachment case in Parliament.
Yes, that was, he said it. That was one of the best cases. और कहता उसमें मैं nervous इतना था. If I lost the entire career. But
greater the risk, greater the profit.
But he was son of great Shri Hilalal Sibal, who was himself a attorney at Chandigarh.
Yeah, he was authority on the law, sir.
Authority on law. And all his three brothers are IAS officers. And he himself was selected as an IAS officer.
Okay.
He left that job. He didn't join. So it takes time because it is the experience and secondly the practice and your quest for knowledge.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't have the quest for knowledge, then nothing is possible.
So
that's very rightly said, sir.
Anyone else?
I think we are done with the questions today.
Yeah.
Now I will request Mr. Karan Bhardwaj to present. Thanks.
Are we having some more questions?
No, please, you go ahead.
Okay. I've been assigned with a task to say a thank you note. I would begin by saying that Mr. Jindal played today a captain's knock. It is revenue law is such a vast field in states like Haryana and Punjab, wherein economies are largely agriculture driven, and the appellate side and original side of litigations both have enormous litigation coming from revenue law, and it has its wings towards going to civil law and to criminal law as well. So it was not open, and as a lawyer you cannot afford to start your practice and not know about revenue law. And all this while I know many people would not admit it, but 10 points of 10 columns of Jamabandis are often were often like questions in question papers and examinations which people don't attempt. They answer the question of the matter without looking at them, without not going into them, without not understanding it. Today, Mr. Jindal took us to Jamabandi, not just in isolation in the light of Punjab Land Revenue Act, Punjab Land Revenue Rules, Punjab Land Record Manual. In totality, it was delight hearing him. And when he comes up with his anecdotes, telling us it is so very important to acknowledge that he still appreciates the enormous effort made by his seniors on him. In lawyers, we say like horses come from stable and lawyers come from their respective offices. So I hope Mr. Jindal will continue guiding us like this in future also. And it will be a pleasure hearing him in future also. Thank you to Mr. Jindal and all our listeners who have joined us on various platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Karan.
Thank you,
Thank you. I don't
Thank
deserve
you
this.
all.
No, sir, that you can't say.
You
That
deserve more
say
than that, sir.
Thank you very much.